Alright, so we're going to take a look today at finding the slope of the line if we're given 2 points on the line. So we'll bypass all that stuff. To find the slope of any line, you're going to need 2 points on the line, and you're going to need the slope formula. Alright, so we need 2 points just like we did when we were given a graph, and we need the slope formula. So what's the slope formula? Well, slope formula, whoops. Why is that doing that? Oh, okay. Is y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. That's a formula we're going to need to use in order to get the slope of a line if we aren't given its graph, if we're just given 2 points or the ordered pair of 2 points that are on that line. So let's go ahead and take a look and see how this is done. Alright, so let's start out here. We want to find the slope of a line that contains these 2 points. I'll give them to you right here. 1, 0 and 3, 1. Alright, so first thing we want to do is we want to write our 2 ordered pairs down somewhere where we can work with them, and we want to label our ordered pairs. So since this is my first ordered pair right here, I'm going to label this x sub 1 and y sub 1. This is x, this is an x coordinate, this is a y coordinate, and since it's my first ordered pair, they're both 1s. Okay, 3, 1 is going to be my second ordered pair, so that's why I'm putting an x sub 2 and y sub 2. Okay, so the first thing I do is label my points. The second thing I do is, if I can get this to work, is to write my slope formula. So slope equals y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. Third step, I fill in my ordered pairs, or the numbers from my ordered pairs. So if you look right here, y sub 2, well, what is y sub 2? I go back to where I wrote this down. Y sub 2 is 1, so that's why that goes first. Minus sign right there in the formula. Y sub 1, well, I look over here, y sub 1 is 0. That's what I put there. And then x sub 2 minus x sub 1, well, that's 3 minus 1. So that's exactly what I wrote in my formula. If you subtract, 1 minus 0 is 1, and 3 minus 1 is 2. So that gives me my answer right here of 1/2. The slope is 1/2. So without even knowing what the line looks like, just by being given 2 points that are on the line, I know that my line has a positive slope. It's going uphill, and the slope is 1/2. So it's going to look something, that's a very rough sketch, but it's going to look something like that. It's going to be going uphill. Let's take a look at another one. Alright, here are our 2 points. First step, if you haven't guessed it already, is to write those 2 points down and label them. X sub 1, y sub 1, and x sub 2, y sub 2. Part 2. It's kind of funny that it won't click on there. I don't know why that won't do that. So anyways, part 2 is to write down the formula. Part 3 is to fill in the numbers. Now, look at what I've done here. I took my y sub 2, -4, and I wrote that down. The formula right in between the two y's says put a minus sign, so I did that. Y sub 1 comes next. You see how y sub 1 is -6? That's why I put it in parentheses, to show that there's a difference between the subtraction in the formula and the sign on that number. In the bottom, in the denominator, x sub 2 is -1. That's coming from right there. Look, minus sign in the formula, and then x sub 1 is a positive 1. Okay? Now we have to remember that a minus and negative is a positive. So I'm going to rewrite this as -4 plus 6. And then in the denominator, -1 take away 1 is -2. Alright? We still have to simplify a little bit more. -4 plus 6 is 2. Keep the -2 on the bottom. And one last simplification here to get our answer. 2 divided by -2 is -1. So that is our final answer. The slope of our line is -1. Let's do one more here. Let's see. Let's go to the next page. These are our points. First step, write down your two ordered pairs, label them. Second step, remember, you guys could pause this video if you are watching it at any point and try to do the problem if you think you have the hang of it, and then you can start it again and see if what you did was correct. Second step, write down your formula. Third step, fill in your numbers. Y sub 2 is negative 3. The formula says subtract. Y sub 1 is 5. X sub 2 is positive 3. Formula says subtract. X sub 1 is negative 2. So I put it in parentheses. Okay? And I have to remember that a negative followed by another negative is plus. You see that right there, 3 plus 2. Negative 3 minus 5 in the numerator, that's negative 8, so I can do that. And I get negative 8 over 5. That's all the farther I can simplify, so that is my final answer. Okay, let's see here. We'll do maybe one more. We have 2 points. We're going to label them. That would be the first step, is to label them. Second step, I hit this arrow already, is to write down the formula. Third step is to fill it in. Have you take a look at that. I have y sub 2 minus y sub 1, which was negative, so I put it in parentheses. X sub 2 minus x sub 1. Alright. See that I did a little simplifying there. I end up with 6 over 3, and then you have to remember, if you can simplify it, you do it, or if you can divide, you do that. So that ends up being 2 for the slope. So hopefully you guys, with those 4 examples, have a pretty good idea of how to do this. It's kind of neat that you don't have to see the line as long as you have 2 points, and you can still find its slope. Let's see, do we have any more here to do? That might be the last one. Oh, we have some practice ones, but we're going to avoid those for right now. So remember, to find the slope of a line, you need a few things. You need 2 points on the line. You need the slope formula. And if you have that, you should be able to find the slope of your line.